Hey everybody, welcome to Leon's Chainsaw Parts and Repair. Yet another something that you don't see on my bench every day. That's probably a good thing. This is Steve's Super Pro 125C. And pretty basic description of what's going on. He said it's got spark, but that he tried a rebuild kit and still could not get it to go. Carb kit. And he said the starter always loosens up. I'm going to guess that this screw is stripped. Yeah, it is. So, you guys that have these things, you know, parts don't grow on trees. They're not super common, and what is out there tends to be quite expensive. So, looks like the factory screw I should be able to, other than the fact it's bent, I can see the tip of it sticking through here. Something's definitely bent. Anyway, I intend to try and put a threaded insert in there. But it's got monster compression. I mean, that's what these things were known for, but it also has a monster oil leak, and I'll be damned if I know where it's coming from. I've hosed it off once, and some of this garbage is residual perhaps, but anyway, I'm going to see if I can figure out where the hell that oil leak's coming from. I'm going to guess that the valve in this fuel cap, oh yeah, there's what's left of it. Where's my pick? That is what's left of the duckbill valve that should have been in there. And McCulloch's were different than Homelights, but I'm going to adapt a Homelight one to work in there to make that work. This inside of the tank doesn't stink. It's not corroded. Filter looks good. So when I take on a project like this, I always get a little concerned at the beginning because I don't stock many parts from McCulloch's. You know, when I come across a good deal that I can't resist, I'll add to them, but it's not like Homelight. Fortunately, even though this has a McCulloch name on it, this is an SDC carburetor, so, you know, going through that won't be a big deal. It does have a compression release. That's better. That'll make starting this big pig a little bit easier. But whatever's leaking, it's got a residual of crap all over the saw. So I'm going to really try to get that cleaned up. And honestly, I need to go through the IPLs. I know there's some posted online, and really look at how the saw is constructed. To the best of my knowledge, there's an intake boot down there. Because this does have AV. You can see the anti-vibe mount there. It's cracked, the rubber is, but it doesn't appear shot. I mean, it's still solid, or solid enough. Again, those things pop up on eBay once in a while, and oh boy, you almost have to give your left nut to get a hold of one of those things. So anyhow, it's enough of me babbling. I'll do a little work on this saw, and with any luck, the next time it makes an appearance, it'll be on a test run. Morning everybody, welcome to Leon's Chainsaw Parts and Repair. Looking at Steven's Super Pro 125 McCulloch again, and I thought I was going to be able to fire this thing up, but it didn't fire on a prime, and Steven had indicated it did have spark. It does, but it's not very good spark. I think this condenser is bad. So we're doing this kind of backwards because I just got this hooked up. But using my spark tester, the good one, the 1/4 inch gap, that's what you want it to jump. I've wired one of the aftermarket HEI modules in here real quickly. And watch how it performs. Now at low speed, See, it doesn't generate quite enough voltage to fire consistently, but you get a good speed with a crank. So that's what it should look like. Now with a point system and a good condenser, it'll fire down low at low RPM almost every time. I'm seeing this connector has gotten a little warm and hot at some point, or it's just a little loose fitting, so I'm going to crimp this. See if I can get a better... There we go. That's a little better connection. Now without that HEI module, now I see what I did. I just had it clamped here to the frame. That grounded it out. I had the wires slipped up in there onto the coil leg, so I didn't have to modify any wiring on the saw. Keep everything original. When that new condenser gets here, wire it in. But before we jump the gun, I'll show you why I came to that conclusion. When I was testing with this spark tester, I can barely get it to jump, ever. See, it's inconsistent. That's better than it has been. But look at the spark on a spark plug itself. See if I can do this without zapping myself. Knock it off. I mean, you almost can't see it. It's that dim. And it's got an orange tint to it. Now, in my experience, that is the condenser. So, that's what I'm going with. I'm waiting for one of those to come in. Ordered it on eBay. And when it comes in, I'll get it installed. And I think that will be enough. I don't think it's firing under compression right now. I could always wire that HEI module in and keep going with it, but that wasn't the goal of this. So when the condenser comes in, we'll come back and see how much of a difference that makes.